Hello, this is London calling. I would like to inform you that you are about to listen to a podcast. The views of the host and the guests reflect only their own and not that of the community as a whole. I hope you enjoy the podcast. And now, Eddie, with his band, will play the banter section.
Since it's almost our special year, Gong Hei Fa Choi!
Holy shit, you spoke Cantonese for once. Yeah, so I'm guessing this is coming out closer to Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
大家新年快樂.
No,
Happy
no.
New Year, everyone.
Stop saying things I don't understand.
I literally just translated it right afterwards.
Shh! Don't gaslight me. Don't gaslight me. I know that's not the right terminology, but
it is the right terminology.
Hi everybody, this is Ed Talks About Podcast, a weekly podcast talking about cosplay, Comic-Con, and everything else. I'm your host Eddie, and this week we are talking about my photography workflow. Well, we say my. Is it mine? Yeah, it is mine. We are talking about mine, but we could be talking about someone else's. So yeah. Anyway, joining us on the podcast is Chapman of LPC Photography. Welcome to you. Woo! Let me just do this for you.
Oh god, the soundboard's back.
Yeah! I got my soundboard.
You're not going to let that down, are you?
Oh no, not one little bit. That's going to be there forever and ever.
I'm just waiting to see when you add actually more new sounds.
Yeah, I probably should actually add more sounds, but because I'm like using up all the free accounts on this recording platform, if I do add sound after a certain time, I have to re-add it back in again. So I just stick to the default. But hang on a sec, I'll see what the other sounds sound like. Hang on, there's this one. Hang on. So I think you've heard this one, haven't you?
Yes.
That goes in a loop. Then you heard this one. You've heard that one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this one, which I don't think many people say. It's called intro outro. I don't know if that's better than my actual intro, and I don't want to know if that is better or not because I invested fuck all money into it. But still, I don't want to be like, oh, but I went out my way to really find out a really good tune for my podcast. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And in case people are wondering, yes, this is still the same podcast. We do procrastinate a lot when we're editing. I'm just being honest. It's true, right?
Oh god, yeah. Oh my goodness me. I'm like, I swear I'm one of these people who sit down and go, right, I will sit down and edit photos, and it's gonna start. Then I start doing like cooking, cleaning the flat, or go out, go watch a film, decide to buy a car,
decide to buy a car.
Yeah.
How rich are you? You could decide to buy a car between each
photo.
Whoa.
Who said between each photo? I'm still on the first one. I'm still trying to get to the first one. I'm trying to raise a new country, new nation, all that, new currency and all that. It's pretty hard, What else am I doing? Oh, I've got an evil volcano layer. Everyone needs one of those. What else am I doing?
Wow, volcano. That's so 90s.
Oh, very much so. Yes.
It's all about the space layers now.
No, don't be stupid. You don't want to be over. Oh, space layer. Yeah, it's not a bad idea actually. Space layer. Yeah, might do that. Anyway, oh yeah, I need to then mow the lawn. Yeah. So yeah. What? I did it in order of importance. As you heard in the banter section, it's when it comes out on the Wednesday, the Sunday weekend. That's Chinese New Year, so that's why we said Gung Hei Fat Choi. So yeah. Yep.
Well, politically correct, it should be Lunar New Year.
Yes, very true. Very, 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 very true. Actually, I don't. Did you see it on my personal Facebook wall? Someone actually asked me at work. They said, "Oh, so when is your New Year?" And my reaction was January.
You own a new year. Jeez.
I meant to say 1st of January to say I'm more English British than actually lunar, but I mean they didn't quite get the joke, and I think, oh no, I made it look awkward. Shit. I mean, I knew what all they were trying to drive at as well. I knew they were asking when was Lunar New Year, but I was just like, no, I can't be dealing with this bullshit. Because like, if it's something like personal, I can understand that. I can understand asking, but it's something that you can just Google or Yahoo or Ask Jeeves. You know, it's you can do that, and I just think that I don't know. Maybe just me. So yeah.
Well, they're trying to be social and ask you questions. There
No,
you go.
absolutely, very much. So. I don't want to be like stifling that type of inquisitiveness towards me. So yeah, one thing I want to quickly mention before anything: if anyone's expecting the Anime Con UK review, yeah, it will come. I just need to organise better because, full disclosure, I swear that's also another catchphrase for me. Full disclosure, I had a really shitty weekend, and to be fair, Anime Con UK saved my weekend. But then today at work, I was so busy and such mindfuckery. I went, do you know what? I don't want to rush it. I don't want to push myself to do it. So I thought I'd pick a subject which was a lot easier for me just to chat about, and I thought would be easy to chat about. And for some reason, I picked photography. So yeah, so that review will come soon. I might bring Chapman back because he was meant to be on it. No, he is on it now, but I want to get his point of view as a photographer because something came out of that which I like to discuss, but I want to get a cosplayer's point of view with that as well. And I haven't had time to like find people. So yeah, so this is all on me. So hands up. So hopefully, yeah, that will come. But I've got Chapman now, and I felt like you're a photographer, right? Just want to check.
I assume so. I
Okay.
have a expensive camera.
Oh, just because you got expensive doesn't mean you're a photographer.
It goes snap when I press the button. Does that count?
What do you mean by snap? As in click or snap in half?
Why not both?
Oh dang! Oh dang! I always say about like flip phones. I always say, yeah, all phones can be flip phones. It's just some phones are just flip phone one, can only be used once. I don't know. I don't know what people think of me.
Ask them to comment in the comment section then.
Oh,
Do you even have a comment section?
I do, but people don't use it. But talking about comment section, you have ruined my social media experience.
What did I do? Oh wait, let me
Oh,
guess.
you
Yorkshire
fucking
puddings?
Yep.
Hey.
I've even got Nick like sending me every so often, and you better not keep sending them to me, Nick. I'm watching you, boy. I'm watching you. He keeps sending me like Yorkshire Pud photos every so often. Someone actually did send me some roast potatoes. Like, yummy. But you and your fucking Yorkshire Pud. Oh god.
Did you see the photo I sent you of the pub in Enfield then?
I think so. Yeah. Oh no! What yesterday?
No, the one last week. The
Last
giant Yorkshire puddings on Sundays.
Yes, yes. And I told you fuck off or something like that. I can't remember. It was some expletives, but yeah. You, god damn you. Oh man. Anyway. Sorry, I should do a 7-day checkup. Chapman, how are you? How was the last 7 days for you? Did you I mean, don't spoil the podcast too much, but did you enjoy AnimeCon UK?
Oh, it was a hit and a miss for me. There are parts I enjoyed. It was nice to chill. Photography wise, there wasn't much options.
Mm.
But in general, I've been taking it slow on cons. Like I said, this is my last con of the year, as I told everyone, or my
Oh, okay.
last con of the year in the UK.
Mm.
Um, and to be honest, I really just attend cons to be seeing friends now. I don't put an emphasis on the photography side much. I do photography. Um, it's just I rather spend some time with friends because in March it is going to be my 15th year of cosplay photography.
Mm. No, don't understand that. I mean, obviously, I think I said this 2 years. I think was it 2 years ago now. I said there was like I said 2012 as my start date as food and cosplay. So like 2022, I kind of went, this could be my last year. This should be my last year because I thought 10 years of doing cosplay photography was a good milestone. But I can't let go. I really couldn't let go. I think that identity will die with me, whatever happens. So I just kept on going. Um, but no, at the same token, I get what you're saying. It's like I think this is. I've already recorded a version of this conversation, but it's like we've been going for so long. Why do we keep going? What keeps us motivated? And it's that motivation. I think for us is starting to wane. If not for you, it's waning a lot. So, yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from, and I totally support your decision. That yeah, if you're from a UK point of view, if that's your last one and that's all you're going to do as photography, great. I love to see you at Comic Con as always. I always like try to hook up with you. Sorry, that sounded wrong, but you know what I mean. Try to
Mate, I'm taken
what, what since when?
for a long time.
Dude, you never told me. You never conferred with this with me. You should. Why you should have chat this over with me? What?
You've met my girlfriend.
Shh, 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 shh. They don't know that. They don't know that. Oh man, no.
Bro, she beat you at axe throwing.
To be fair, a lot of people beat me at axe throwing. All right, I'm not. I'm not like pretending that. Oh, I'm such a macho man. Like, fuck off. I knew it was fine. I knew. You know, I knew where I'm placed. So yeah, it's absolutely. But generally, outside of Anime Con UK, you're doing all right. Last 7 days have been treating you well.
So and so. Kind of like I'm just in the process of finding a new job because, as I've told people who've asked me before, I work in video games and it is completely volatile. So it's just always making sure I've got the future secured.
I don't know why I was going to say the future is bright, the future is orange.
You've been looking way too much in Donald Trump.
Honest, no. Oh God, no, not that, not that arsehole. Anyway, I've got the right company. The future is bright. The future's orange. Yeah, good. I was right. Yeah, it's also apparently a song, but I'm not going to go play that. So yeah. So what was I saying? What was I doing? What was I saying? What was I doing? That's a really good point.
You're asking about my 7 days, and I just told you.
Oh
about
yeah.
Games industry.
So yeah, game industry. Well, well, anyone out there who is looking for a
specialist QA engineer.
Chapman's your man. I can't actually recommend him or not. I don't know how good he is. So just do the usual, like interview him, make sure his accreditations are good and things like that. Yeah. No, I'm not taking the flack if you get a job that you didn't deserve or anything like that. Don't look at me like that, all right? Don't look at me.
I've always deserved the jobs I've applied for.
Said with. I was going to call you a narcissist. I was going, what a said by a narcissist. Fucking.
It's not narcissism when it's true.
Oh dear fucking god. Dear fucking god. Right, okay. Well, I'm gonna before we get into more trouble. I'm surprised I've not got trouble from my last episode's podcast. Did I talk to you about this?
Not yet.
Oh, it was titled "Our Photography is Becoming ... and you had to listen to the podcast. That's why I don't mind saying it again. But I said our photography is becoming entitled. It should be retitled "How to Not Make Friends," basically that, or how to anger your photographer friends. Yeah, I can't wait until that somehow springs up on the internet and people go, "Did you actually mean this?" And I'm, yep, 100%. You fucking pipe down. You fucking, because if obviously you took offense to that, clearly it's about you. But anyway, let's not go down that road. But anyway, oh man, I just want to yeah. It's been 1 week. I'm like scared. Oh man, right. Was there anything else you wanted to do to add?
No. What about your week?
Oh god. don't know if I really want to talk about it, but basically, we got a guest, a very important guest that came to my workplace. It came actually Saturday, but the build up to that was really rigorous and absolutely like for a while. Actually, I was like sitting there going, I'm all right. As the IT manager, we were like way ahead of the curve. We actually got everything sorted and everything was so nice. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, things just hit the fan. And it's things that I would have been okay sorting out, or this was that, and that was. I'm like, for some reason, it's like, oh, it's just made my week, just the weekend, just a little bit shitter. And I was like, oh, so yeah, but yeah, so yay, mental health, woo! I'll be fine. No, like I said, things I'm saying are just very, very small things, but we all like anything. Those small things could become bigger cracks. So I am okay. I am all right. I just need to tell myself that the world won't end. The world is fine. Carry on. You know, it's all good. It's all fine. That's it. Anywho. I was going to say something else very quickly before I forget, but I need to look for it now. Where did I put it? Where's my
Is
goodies?
this like your?
I was going to say, where's my goodies from Anime Con? Seriously, where the fuck did I put it? Basically, my swag. I bought some really nice stickers and pin badges. I was going to add to my other pin badge collection. Yeah. If people don't know, I'm like buying a lot of things from Jarla's Bones. I got his hat, got his stickers, got his pin badge, and I bought a fuck load of things from him. And I met another artist at Anime Con. I'm really ruining that podcast. I've got to remember to talk about this later. But seriously, where did I just put it? Fuck me. I mean, I wish someone fucked me, but that's a whole different conversation. Oh well, I'll find it later. But yeah, I was just going to say I was going to show off to you somehow. But yeah, so this podcast. Sorry, we've wasted people's time, and we really should just get into the podcast. So, as I was saying, I want to talk about at least my photography workflow because I think I mentioned it in a different podcast. I mean, it might have been the last episode that I said I'll be reading. I think it'd be interesting to talk about my workflow from literally the moment I think about taking a photo to actually delivering it to person. And also, I kind of want to ask the question: is it different from one scenario to another scenario to another scenario? So things like that, really. Chapman's here is capacity to listen. He's welcome to talk about his, but I don't want to force his hand nor make him feel like he has to reveal anything he doesn't want to. So it's entirely up to him how he participates in this podcast. I just
Wait,
want
that wasn't in the contract.
what? I'm giving you a choice. Sorry.
Yeah, the contract said I had to tell everything.
All right, fine. Tell everything if you want. I mean, that makes a better podcast rather than one person talking all the time.
No, I do share what my process is, and
Yeah,
actually quite a lot of people are aware of it.
that's good. That's good. But I think I think mine's a little unique, and I can explain things stage by stage and things like that. But I think like most photographers, that I'm aware of, I think it's the usual. You just turn up to a Comic Con event, be it MCM London, Birmingham, be it MegaCon Live London and Birmingham, Manchester, Dublin. I'm trying to think of any others. Now we've got the addition of AnimeCon UK, London and Birmingham. Well, it's just London and Birmingham really at the moment. Wow, really should we diversify a little bit? Oh, there's Wales Comic Con. Wales Comic Con. You got Monopoly event. They do literally. They go around the place. They get around. And
Don't
yeah.
forget the Showmaster stuff.
Oh yeah, Showmaster. Yeah, Showmasters. So, so no, I think most people know my opinions about Showmasters. It's like it's there, it's fine. It's at least another event that people can go to. I do see its value of what it does, which is different to like the other events. That's very celebrity TV film. Like it's just, I personally think it's more badly organized than the other organizers, but that's just my opinion. That really stops me from getting any sort of affiliation with them, be it like a press pass, creator pass. So thanks, thanks. Well, if I listen to this, thanks, past Eddie, for saying this out loud. But no, I mean, I think when we all first started photography, we just literally just went to a con and just. I mean, for me, it was just literally finding the courage to go up to a cosplay and go, "Can I take your photo?" Because I love hearing on the other side that cosplayers want to come to a photographer, but they're too scared to ask. It's like, how the fuck do you think I feel? I'm, I am shitting bricks that the worst thing you could say is, no, I'm going to call security, get him off the premises, type of thing. It's like, oh no, what did I say? Or they look at me, glance at me, no, you peasant, no, go away from me. I'm king and queen. Oh my god! It's like, oh no, I didn't mean to like offend you by looking at you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, what were you like when you back in the day going up to people?
Oh. Well, you see, how I started cosplay photography was completely different. Um, I started photography quite early on. I enjoyed photography. Um, I actually had friends who were doing fashion, I believe it was, or studying something, that started doing cosplay. And they were interested in getting people to do photos. But this was like back in Hong Kong, so I actually started in a different country completely. And they asked me to do photo shoots with them. So we did some photos, and that kind of got me interested in cosplay photography. But we had a very bad falling out. So kind of I stopped in cosplay photography for a while. And then when I was in the UK, I studied video games. A group of my friends I met in university told me about Comic Con, or specifically MCM, which was kind of like the first Comic Con I attended. Went there, saw people cosplaying, and I thought, oh, I'll come back with a camera and maybe do some photos again. Hopefully, the people aren't as horrible as that person from my past. And then, yeah, kind of went on from there.
It's really interesting that one person can really ruin someone else's day. I really am sorry that you had to go through that, but at the same token, I'm glad you came back and, in a sense, rediscovered your passion, your love. I didn't actually know you did your photography in Hong Kong. Um, is this what's the scene like between the two countries, from what you can remember?
So this wasn't convention photography. This was
Mm,
actually like location shoots.
sorry, yeah, that's
So
what it. But the sorry, but is the scene of doing like location shoot photography there? Is it the same, or did you get a different vibe?
it was the completely same. Like in Hong Kong, it was such a great place to photo shoot because you've got a nice mix of urban and rural in a very small area. So we had a very nice like mountainy hill with rocks and a mini waterfall, kind of like essentially like the Peak District is how I would best describe the closest location to it in terms of how it looks. And it was very nice, serene. We weren't bothered by people. Um, and it wasn't too hard to get to. It wasn't like a 2 hour hike. It was like a 45-minute walk up some steep steps. There was a well traveled hiker's path. And then we just take like a 2 minute around behind these trees where no one's going to interrupt us to get the photos, where there's like a cliffside or some nice rock things to take photos. So yeah, I feel it's the same, but with just better options for locations and a lot closer.
That's interesting because I've done a mountain hike before. It's definitely not 20 minutes. It's definitely a 4-day. It feels like a 4-day hike.
Where were we hiking? Were you in Hong Kong?
Yeah. I wasn't doing a photo shoot. I was going to one of my family's shrines, family shrine. So when you came back and all that, so do you think you were fairly confident just going up and asking people?
Yeah. I'm like, if they're confident enough to come in cosplay, why shouldn't I be confident enough to go and ask them for a photo?
No, I'm always astonished. I'm always astounded when people have the tenacity. Is it tenacity?
Tenacity?
Tenacity.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah, but yeah. For some reason, my speech is really off. But just to able to like, what's the word? Just go up and ask people. For me, for years, I'm like going, oh, I don't want to talk to people. They're gonna reject me. And I know there are a lot of cosplayers who think the other way. And I try, if I have to say no, I try to do it in a way where it doesn't feel like that I'm rejecting them. That it's I let them down gently and things like that, and I hope that comes across well. I'm not saying I'm not sure if it does, but yeah. Um,
I think it was also kind of like with how I was brought up, I had to be very vocal about certain things. Like, because of uni, like I had to do a lot of group work. I was like leading the group, so I had to be very vocal. Where I worked, I had to be very vocal to make sure things were done on time. So I think because I was so vocal, I just learned to be not as afraid or not as shy to approach people and ask.
that's it. Yeah, I mean, I used to work in a takeaway, and I'm sure you used to work in a takeaway. Everyone had to work in a takeaway.
Not
Well,
everyone,
no, I'll just just kind of like our culture type of thing.
or more like our generations.
Yeah, don't get me started. But yeah, I don't mind talking to people. I feel like I can talk to people, but at the same token, I feel like that's an environment where people have come to me to like talk to me, whereas I have to talk to other people. It's not that easy. But yeah, but no, yeah. So just to get back on the track of like um, talking about like photography and all that. So obviously, I've spent many years talking to people, trying to like ask people, oh, can I take your photos, things like that. And yeah, as I said, I don't think it's that easy to ask someone. I still don't think it's that easy. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm sure you could say otherwise, but and then when you like when they go, oh yeah, that's fine. It's like my if it's someone I don't know or a character I don't know, I definitely right at the beginning, I'm sure I would have used the phrase, "Oh, give me some poses and things like that, or get into your position." It's like, oh, good, that means I don't have to think about it. I mean, um, but nowadays, I now and a lot of other photographers we've spoken to about about photography processes. It's quite interesting. A lot of photographers do now do this. They say, "So, what's your character like? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they energetic? Are they, somber? Things like that." It's really interesting how they what's the word find techniques to really like draw out an idea of what this character is in a very 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 short time. I mean, do you employ this technique as well?
Yeah, actually, I do. If it's a character I don't know, I do always go, can you tell me more about your character? Like, what is the story behind them? Or what is the story or world you're set in? Just so I find out more. But then that also gives me like, what's the name of your character? Let me Google.
Oh God! I mean, I was gonna say I was gonna get onto my great revelation how I now get around like this embarrassment um of like asking people for poses and things like that. Um, I can't. I mean, I know why I do what I do. Basically, so this starts. I wonder if I can find out actually, because I usually save these all on my Google Drive. See if I can find my first file. But basically, I would spend, which for some reason my brain, I think, oh, this will only take me what, half an hour. takes me about an hour and a half, I think, like an hour and a half to go through every character, search it up, and then like what was it? Just Google what their characters and find poses that I go, oh, that's a nice pose, copy that. That's a nice pose, copy that, and like I build a file up, and it does take. Honestly, it does take some time to create this file, and this is based off the schedule. Oh my god, schedule! Oh god, what? Fucking of all the things I do, I don't know why I thought this is a great thing to do. This is a smart thing to do. So again, this is to combat like not knowing what to do at a Comic Con. This is I've said this many times before. Like sometimes I would rock up at Comic Con. I just don't like not knowing what to do. Especially like I find out the Excel is one of my favorite locations to shoot photos because I feel like I can shoot things. I can very quickly plot in my head, right, if you've shot here or you haven't shot here, let's do here, let's get really good, nice, settings for your cosplay. I don't know if I mentioned about a certain wall, but I try to like, not say avoid it, but try to do something different with it and things like that. But yeah, schedule. Oh, God. Yeah, I think so. So to go back a little bit, so the reason I do a schedule is because I actually want to know what you're wearing, as well as having guaranteed work list to go through. A diary of people, and I do enjoy doing that. I do like knowing who I'm shooting with. I have said many times, sometimes it does restrict me from actually shooting with other people who I like see in the distance. Go, oh, I want to run away, and I've had people go, oh, if you want to quickly just go, but I feel like no, I don't want to abandon you. But yeah, the schedule thing. Oh god, I used to do it back in the day. Oh my god, I used to back in the day put it onto Facebook, literally a list of times, and just said pick a time, send DM me through the Facebook chat. Once it's booked, that time goes off, and I used to spend about 2-3 hours just going through each message one by one as it came to me. I try not to leapfrog anyone after anyone, and oh dear God, that gave me such stress. Oh
Um,
God, but
I know the feeling. Like that's why I stopped the schedule. For me, I used to do schedules for a long time. I do half an hour slot sections, but it's just because I also ran the League of Legends meet or the Riot Games meet and the Overwatch meets. I just found it's near impossible because I would end up having to have 1 or 2 sessions cut out because they're running late and I have to go run the meets.
mm,
And from that, I also found it kind of like stifled. Is it that the word? Basically, it kind of stopped my
oh,
flow of
stifle! It
creativity.
stifled you.
Stifled. There we go. I can't English today.
I can't word today. Don't worry, I can't word.
Yeah.
I can't.
It
Hang
really.
on, no.
Yeah.
I can't Grammarly today. I can't Grammarly today.
Not sponsored.
Oh God, if I wish I was sponsored. Said that many a times. But carry
Uh,
on. Sorry, carry on.
yeah. So it really stifled my creativity. Like, if I'm constricted to 30 minutes, kind of sometimes when you start photographing someone, it does take a while for you kind of to get in the flow of finding what works best for the character. Don't you
Mm,
agree? Like some characters you could just instantly and get what it is and the best photos could come
yeah.
out from your work. And then there are some that you kind of like play around for a long time, then you kind of go, oh, actually this is what works.
Yeah, and absolutely, and that's why for me, I need to know, I need to have that schedule so that I know who I'm shooting with and plan like poses. And some of these poses that I've come to use, I can easily like move that onto another person very quickly if I have to. And this is like a tip that I would tell people that if you're going to change your cosplay plan, please, if you've arranged a shoot with someone, please tell your photographer as soon as you can. Yes, you're going to have cosplay malfunctions on the day. That can't be helped. That's not an issue. It's the ones where I've had, to be fair, this was like 10 years ago, where I've had shoots where they've gone, oh, yeah, I just changed my mind. I went, oh, thanks. I've done research and, oh, I didn't realize you'd do that. Thanks. And it's not, obviously, if they don't know, they don't know. But I think it's a bit of courtesy just to let them know that type of that you should that you've changed your lineup, because you never know if the photographer had something planned in their head that they wanted to shoot, and then if you change when, and I'm sure the photographer won't go, well, if you haven't got that character, fuck off. But at the same time, it's like if you had something planned, you don't know if those plans will still work or not.
Yeah, but for me is if I don't do a schedule, what I do is I learn what kind of like what poses work with what kind of theme, rather than if this works with that specific character. So instead of like say, if you're shooting a Harley Quinn, instead of learning all the Harley Quinn poses, I learn kind of like what a Harley Quinn would be as a character. Then I would build like a knowledge of poses or themes that would suit anything similar to a Harley Quinn.
Mm.
And then kind of once I built that mental image of how kind of characters who are similar theme style would be, that's been my go-to. I don't have to really do too much in-depth research, and I don't have to worry about when someone else comes up with a very similar style of cosplay and asks, can you shoot this? Because I don't have to go, oh, I don't know it, and then kind of decline.
Mm.
But I mean, there are times I have declined saying, unfortunately, I don't really know the character, so I don't know how to shoot it well.
Yeah, and I've always said I think it's every right the photographer to say no to someone if they don't know the character, but I also still think that it's just taking a photo. You can just point and click, and then I've always said again, I think the cosplayers should know their poses anyway, but I'm there with my help sheet because again, I've said this many times, it's for me to show them without me using words, but with an image. This is how I like you to pose. Because sometimes, as you can hear in this podcast, sometimes words don't work for me. I don't grammarly well. I don't, spell check well in what I say. And so I feel like if I just show a picture, I can easily show what I want to see on my camera and things like that. And yeah, I don't like. I don't want to poo-poo you saying no to people. I'm not trying to tell you, oh, you're wrong. That's absolutely your decision. You're fine about that. I just have an opinion about it, and I'm hoping you allow me to have that opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. My opinion is because my photography represents my style. I get you put a lot of work into that cosplay. You really love that character, but for me, it's because I don't know it. I can't do it justice. I don't want to ruin that
No,
moment for you.
yeah, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that when I point and click, I still give them the best work. Sometimes, like you said, I have shot and things I've gone. I don't think I've given my best. I don't know if I've
Yeah.
feel like it was that good of a photo and therefore represents me, represents them, and also feel like, oh, if it's not the best, will they ever come back to me and ask for photos from it? Type of thing. Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, yeah.
it is definitely a risk if you do take on a character you don't understand. You may potentially not give the best. So, no, I totally understand that. Totally understand that. But through the years of doing all these poses, like you said, you do build up a repository of poses that you can literally jump to and go, right, do this. You can do that. You do this.
Yeah.
But based on that, like that word brainstorming of like saying, what's your character like? So for us photographers, I think we do need to be geared up to have that knowledge. But at the same token, I, it's nicer that the cosplayer know themselves. Oh, I've got this idea, that idea, this pose, this, and then that's great. And then it becomes even better collaborative work. I just want to move on a little bit to the editing. Before I mean, yeah. I wanted to talk about the editing, unless there was something else you wanted to add.
No, well, my editing, I'll be very honest, is I've got two modes. I My usual go-to is very limited editing,
Mm,
so I do a lot of fixing on location. So rather than going like, oh, I will kind of like mask this out, cut this out, crop, modify, completely change the background for you so it looks like you're in a different world, I will be very honest and say, I will fix this here right now. So I will remove that cigarette butt on the corner. I'll kick that can out of the shot. Or I'll angle slightly different so I don't see the trash rubbish on the side.
mm.
And then there are the other ones where either it's a page shoot where we've discussed like what kind of editing we want, it's a location shoot, or I just have some extra time, I would then go into more in-depth editing.
No, I get what you say. Yeah, so I was going to do about paid shoots or location shoots um, later on, but I find I used to be that type of like I just want to do light edits and just go. But the more that, as much as this is a hobby for me, and I've said this before, as much as this is a hobby, I find that I really want to like perfect my artwork, my style even more, and it really grinds my gears. And this is only for me, and it's no external influences per se, but it really grinds my gear when I see something or someone says, "Oh, could you just do this?" And I went, "Yeah, I can do that. Shouldn't be a problem." Oh, now I've learnt this new skill. I've got to then put it onto all the others. It's like I was remember talking to a friend about a photo shoot I did, and they said, "Oh, that's nice, but you can't really see any of the like jawline or anything like that. What you should do some contouring." I went, "Oh, the cosplayer. I don't know if they can know that. No, you should add it." And I'm like, "Can I add that?" I said, "Yeah, of course you can." Googled it, found a YouTube clip, and I, oh my god, yeah, I could do this. And then they went, oh, now I've got to do it for everything now. I know how to contour. No.
Well,
Yeah.
well, all my photos get like a basic level of editing. Like this is my lazy editing. I
Mm.
will set like color corrects. I will change the temperature to suit the theme, brightness, contrast, exposure, hue, saturation, all of that stuff. And I'll do some very basic frequency separation just to kind of like help people kind of fix up any blemishes they might have. So
Mm.
kind of like if there's patches on their makeup or if they've got like a spot or two that's kind of should be removed or there's like some hairs out of place, like especially a lot of people without wearing big wigs to tend to get like some stray hairs that cover your face. So I'll remove that as well. Apart from that, that's it, honestly,
N-
for basic edits.
Yeah. And absolutely, yeah. So I go into, I always say I've got two phases. So I do kind of what you do for phase one. I would go, so I import my photos into Lightroom. I would go for every photo and go, right, do I like that one? No, no, yes, no, no, yes, no. No. It's not, sorry, it sounds like I would just go for every two no's and then put a yes, no. It's whatever I obviously feel, which is good.
Yeah.
And then once I've done that initial uh sort through, then I'll then go for each photo and go right, color correct this, color correct that, light and contrast. But I don't hardly use any contrast, and then if there's certain photos that I feel like things like the contouring, lightsaber effect. I'm trying to think of what others I've done. If people have asked me to manipulate their bodies, and I mean it has to be requested. Like for example, like a part of their armor falls apart a little bit, it's like comes off their body a little bit. They've asked me, "Can you just fix that?" And I went, "Yeah, absolutely." And then I use a technique called liquify to actually push it back into place. So that's what I'm saying, like body modification. That's what I mean. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, I it depends on the shoot, but I remember clearing my backlog Christmas time off like both the MCM London photos and the Birmingham photos, and I just remember just sitting in a cafe for as long as the cafe was open from 9 to 6. I did take breaks, I did have food and things like that, but just sit there solidly just to go through these photos because God, my I can't sit still. I really cannot sit still, especially at home. Like right now, I'm trying to like manage my website whilst like doing this podcast, and it's yeah, and my mind wanders so badly. It's unbelievable, but yeah, and the reason why I want to bring this up about the editing because I look at like other people's edits and I think, oh, that's cool. And then when I see them do Twitch editing, I'm going, holy fuck! They've like got like they do this, they do that. They got 20 layers. They do masking here. They do some might use generative AI type of thing. I freely admit I'm using it myself. They do other effects on it, and I'm sitting there going, I don't do that. I think this is why I refuse to do Twitch streaming, because I feel like all my edits are so simple that people will look at me and go, "Why do we bother hiring you? Or why do we bother shooting with you? Because it's what you do is so simple." I went, "Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not going to disagree with that." But on the flip side of that, I like to think it's the years of honing my skill of like taking the photo and editing that's gotten better over time. It may seem simple because I, I want to make it simple and find the techniques that are simple and quick but effective as well.
Yeah, that's very much me as well, which is also why I don't really do a lot of mass edits, especially with convention photography.
Oh god, yeah. So I was saying the other in the other podcast, I worked out that I did, what was it? I had 30 planned shoots. 30 planned shoots, and when I say planned, none of these were that's not including the ones where, "Oh, Eddie, how's things? Oh, can you just take my photo quick?" I went, "Of course." There was I think another 10 on top of that afterwards, and I'm like going, "Oh, why do I do this to myself? It's not fair. It's not funny." So,
Yeah, I mean, you just remind me of a time where at Comic Con I had like 6,000 photos a day.
oh, uh,
But then again, this does include the league, the Riot Games, the Overwatch
oh yeah,
meets.
yeah.
But to be honest, those were maybe what 100 or so photos out of the 6,000 or so.
Hmm.
Because I booked from me being stupid as well, because I stayed near MCM in the hotels. I even did I did bookings for sunrise shoots
Oh God,
and
you're an idiot.
sundown shoots, which stupidly people also did book me for. So I thought I was the only stupid person because I allowed this, but actually people did want to do this as well.
You stupid man, you stupid.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not calling the people that actually booked me for
Oh,
like
absolutely.
these shoots stupid. I'm just saying I was stupid enough
Yeah.
to make this an option, and especially with how conventions are, like the night before at the Fox or the night before at the Novotel,
Mm.
and then 6 a.m. Oh boy.
I would love to do a morning shoot. Genuinely, I was like, when I was walking through London and saw how empty the streets were, I went, I'd love to do like an urban street. It doesn't have to be cosplay, but just an urban fashion shoot in the early hours of the morning. And I just think it would look so good. But yeah.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, but it has helped me perfect my golden hour shots,
oh
to be honest.
God, yeah. When you get the gold now just right, or even perfect, like just chef
Oh
kiss,
yeah.
chef kiss. What we were saying? So yeah, so going back to the editing process, um, I think that's where most of my time goes. Is not actually on the shoot itself; it's the post editing, and like I said, it really infuriates me that I wish this process was simple. I know there are now AI services where they'll look at the way how you edit a photo, it'll try to mimic it and then apply it to other photos. I don't know how good they are, and I'm not tempted more because it costs quite a lot of money to use because they do it per photo cost rather than it's a like a block service, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know how much I would trust it. So, um, but no, it's just yeah, it's just so it sounds like to me your workload. Actually, no, your workload sounds it's more at the shoot itself rather than the editing, and mine's kind of like I wouldn't say flipped, but I like I said, it's about no, it probably is flipped actually. I'll probably spend more time.
So it's more your post production. I am during production.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I never even thought about your work being, you know, production edits. If that makes, if you know what I'm saying, compared to like me doing it post production. Yeah, I never really thought about that. Never thought
Yeah,
about
yeah, which is also why I don't do the schedules or bookings
that. Mm.
because I don't know how long I'll take, and I just like you never know. It might take an hour to get that perfect photo if the cosplayer is willing to work for an hour, or it might take 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, and that has happened. Like, now that I've like restricted myself to take 6 post photos, sometimes that can be done in 10 minutes, and like I sometimes think, oh, I hope they're getting a good experience from me because I don't want them to think they're getting a shitty, they go, oh, only want for 10 minutes. Like, well, that's because I got everything I wanted, and I don't want to add more to my workload type of thing.
Mm.
The things like that. And obviously, what I need to start doing, sorry, I've now edited the photo. What I need to start doing also is like when I've uploaded it to my Google Drive to go through it on my phone, because I swear when I see it go off on social media, it's not how I thought it was. And when I look back at my obviously the photos are on Google Drive, I look, oh, it is the same. What? That's not my memory of that photo. So I need to start going through the photos on social media to make sure how I think it should look is on also the same on social media.
So what I do is all my photos are billboard size. Then I just export it out as normal size, and then I'll do a little post edit to make it fit like Instagram sizes.
Mm,
That's how I work it. Because I already see it in how it looks in billboard size, which is as big as possible, it looks better when it's scaled down.
mm,
So that's my process on this, and that's how I kind of go over like, oh, it is what I pictured in my head or how I wanted it to look.
mm. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah,
I
go.
want to bring it back to something you said. You said guaranteed 6 photos, right?
Mm.
I I give a minimum of 3. Anything more is extra.
Oh, right.
That's how I've always approached it. I'm impressed that you could do 6.
Yeah, no, right. So I've said this before. I I do 6 for any planned shoots, and then 3 for any like on the spot shoots that I do. The reason for that is because at the time people were posting 3 photos in the Instagram grid, and then
Mm,
I feel like, oh, they're going to put all 3 in one go. I kind of want them like see more of my photos on a different day, so that's why I kind of like give them 2 sets of threes for them to post. Nowadays, people don't use the sets of threes anymore. So, but I'm stuck in my ways. I still follow those rule of 3 on my website. So if you ever go to my website, there's always going to be 3 photos posted. Social media wise, it's like 1 or 2 photos that you'll see. But I'm hoping people look at those photos and go, "Oh, I'll go to the website and have a quick look." So that's the reason why you if you book with me, you get 6 rather than like Chapman says 3. And again, we're all got our own workloads. We all got this and we call that. Talk about workload.
well,
Yeah, go on.
just to clarify, book shoots are completely different. I'm talking about like convention shoots. Like not booked convention shoots, just like I thought you meant 6 in an average shoot. Like someone just come up to you and ask for photos, you give them
Oh
6.
no, 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 no! I do a 3. I do a 3.
Okay. I just want to clarify that because if you do book me for a shoot, I will give you more than that.
Yeah.
But like when you said you would give 6, I thought you would mean as in the same. If someone comes up to you, ask for photos, you would get 6 for them.
No, I can't do that. I really can't. And like I said, I feel I do it as an incentive that, oh, how come this person got 6 and I only got 3? Well, because they booked with me. Oh, okay, then I'll book for you next time. I'm like, cool, that's fine. That's all I want. That's all I want. So yeah, yeah. Uh, so I just want to move on a little bit since we finished about talking about the editing. How different is it from doing a location shoot or a studio shoot to a Comic Con environment? Do you think in your mind there's a difference?
There is a real, real big difference in honesty.
Hmm.
Um, for me, location shoots are so much more free compared to free as in like freedom of creativity
Hmm.
instead of a convention. Yes, convention is really nice for people to gather up, to do photos or a central location to meet. But with a location shoot, there is so much more. You're not stuck to set. We'll take the Excel for example. You're not stuck to the white corridor walls or the grey walls, the small set of trees with hundreds of people surrounding it, the waterfront side or inside the yacht. Actually, I haven't shot inside the yacht for a long time. I think I've shot once.
I've shot there.
No, actually, I don't think I've actually ever shot in that yacht. No,
Oh,
I've
have
never
you?
shot.
Oh, I've shot there many times now. Before you actually retire from Comic Con photography, go in there. You should give it a
I'm
go.
not retiring. I'm just saying I've done 15 years.
I'm not. I'm saying Comic Con
Yeah, I
photography.
know. I
Okay.
know.
Yeah. Go in there. The Sunborn does actually allow people to go in there now. I think as long
Oh,
as you,
I heard completely different.
I say you ask. I think if you just rock up there, I think I'll be
I
pissed. Get out. That'd be my assumption.
I've asked before, but this was what? When was the Sunborn first there?
Yeah. Oh no,
2016?
they used to. Yeah, you're right. They used to not allow anyone, but within the last, I think 2 or 3 MCMs, they have been allowing it. And I will admit, at first I was pissed at that, but now I'm okay with that. So yeah, um, no, I totally understand. I totally get what you're saying with all of this. I find, because again, this is what Kevin Pack talking about in a different podcast. He was asking me, do you find you get your best work at a Comic Con? And I said, no. My recent stuff, I was going, this is really interesting that, oh, this was on the podcast extra, I think. So that's why if you're going, I don't remember him asking you that. Yeah, that's the reason. Was it? I can't remember. Anyway, I digress. I'm like sitting there thinking, I look at my work now and think I do my best work at a location shoot at a studio. And I think it's because I don't know if you're the same with me, Chapman. I don't want to speak on your behalf. At a Comic Con, I feel like I'm against the time. I need to get as many people in shot, and I don't want to take up their time. I don't want them to take up my time. So we've got fixed time, but we've got to rush it. We're going from one person to another person to another person, another person, another person, another. You get the idea. When you're at a location shoot, it's everything slows down. Yes, I'm still frantic. I'm still like going at the pace I usually do, but at the same token, I'm not. I'm like, I can let people get change and let people look around, take their time. I can then look around, scout the area. I can just take my time at doing that, and then get, as I would say, the Eddie experience of getting photos from me. And it is absolutely a delight when I do it. I will admit, rarely do I do research for those shoots. For some reason, I don't think it's because I tend to try to remember the past poses I've done and apply it to that. And again, I rely on the cosplays to know what to do. I also look at the environment and go, oh, this will look good if I do it this way around and that way. Shooting through things, above, below, on things like that. I try to let the environment dictate to me what would look like a good photo. Whereas I feel like Comic Con, yes, I know the environment, you can apply that same theory, but also you're against the time. I feel like I need to make sure I get good poses guaranteed without fail. Whereas a location shoot, you can experiment. That's the word. You can really experiment with your photo shoots.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with that. It's also one thing you're forgetting to mention. You're going against security as well.
Well, I don't know. I've mentioned this a few times as well. Like Canary Wharf will always kick me off their premises when they see me, no matter how many times I said. Even though I know it's a lie, I've said, I'm a student photographer."
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they'll look at me like, mate, you've got a beard. I was like, no, I don't.
What? Student doesn't have an age range, or doesn't be young.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can be a student at any age. You can be a student of any
yeah,
age. But no, yeah, I was like,
yeah. But what I mean against going against security, it's more of a convention thing because like it depends on the convention or the location itself. But sometimes some security are very iffy with you, especially with the equipment you have. Like MegaCon, for example, security was like, oh, you can't take photos apart from inside the MegaCon hall.
yeah,
But then there was security like you can't shoot in there.
yeah, and it
And
was.
then
Yeah, I was going to say
yeah,
very quickly. Well, that was later cleared up by Megacom by saying that's because we only bought 4 or 5 halls. That was it. That was our domain. Everything else was Excel property, with so therefore security was just doing what they were, in a sense, essentially told about, making sure that people weren't taking the piss about taking photos inside the hall. and also there's a slight. At the time, I don't know if this was true or not. That DragCon were told make sure people don't get told not take photos in the hallways or things like that. I did ask someone who attended DragCon. They went, "Oh, well, you didn't hear anything like that." Not to say it didn't happen, but not to say it did happen either.
And then in addition to that, I mean, going against security is like, for example, Comic Con, MCM specifically, security starts kicking people out from the trees at a certain time.
Oh God, yes.
That's what I mean by going against security. Like, even though you've got a ticket for Comic Con, I say Comic Con, you've got a ticket for MCM, you're allowed to be there. You get kicked out, what, at 7 p.m.? Is it 6:30, 7 p.m.? What,
Wherever it
just,
closes, it just literally the moment the door closes. Oh no, you're right. It's about, I think, on a Friday, Saturday, it's about an hour after,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
two. But on the Sunday, they are literally the moment that clock strikes midnight, shall we say, they want you off premises ASAP.
yeah. So that's what I mean by you're going against security as well,
Yeah,
which
but
isn't that great.
no, but I will say, just because you're not at a Comic Con and security gets involved, doesn't mean that if you go to private property or any other public location, security won't be there to stop you either. So do be
Oh,
careful and
yeah.
do be respectful. Don't lie that you're a student photographer. Basically, they're just checking you're not trying to make a commercial shoot, which I wasn't at the time. But if they say stop, stop. Don't argue back, because you don't know the rules. You don't know what you could be infringing on. So just walk away. Just say thank you very much. I'll pack away and go, because not that it's happened, but I don't want you people to get in a situation where we go, well, as you are taking photos like this, we'll format your card. And like, there may have been some legitimate photos that were okay, but if that's gone, it's gone. So
Mm.
just be very careful how far you push security, shall we say. But yeah, um, I I'm trying to. I will admit this. I'm trying to push an agenda to get people to do more location shoot, more studio shoot, because I do think, for what I've just said, what Chapman just backed me up, those days are so much more fun, more freer. You can do a lot. You've got more control over the environment, I think, and things like that. So I like I said, there is, like I said, a open hidden agenda that I do like to see more people like try more locations. Again, I'm not saying you have to shoot with me. Find your favorite photographer, take your own camera, cell phone, whatever, take photos. You'll be surprised how more liberating that is. We're dangerously getting close to the end of the podcast, and I just want to throw one more other thing. And again, I think you have done some of this. I think I've seen this, but yes, I think I have actually. And basically, it's just like lingerie shoots and things like that, because sometimes cosplayers, especially now with the rise of Patreon, OnlyFans, and Fansly,
Fansly.
yeah, and like the legitimate websites, it's a legitimate way to earn money. People want content from that, and I've people know that I've got an alternative fetish website. Like I said, I keep saying fetish. It's meant to be a photography, just old photography page. And again, do you treat those shoots any different to Comic Con or location shoots again, or are those shared skills between those three areas, shall we say?
Yeah, the shared skills and also my shared rules. So I don't think I've actually gone around talking about my rules, but people who's worked with me on location shoots are, firstly, I need to know that person. It's like,
Mm,
and I need to know that person well enough to be comfortable to shoot with them of anything kind of like this content. Secondly, I would always need them to bring a guardian.
mm,
So kind of like, I don't care if we're both male, or I don't care if you're female, you will have to bring a guardian. This is not just for your sake, but also my sake. Because if anything were to happen, I might not be able to handle it. You would need someone else to handle, because I avoid touching cosplayers completely if I can.
mm,
So unless I like really know them really well and we've been friends for years, I will not touch or really readjust their cosplay unless there's like a need to, especially with these shoots.
mm. No, I get what you're saying. Absolutely. I would say
Yeah.
do make sure you get someone who comes with you, regardless of guardian or not. Like if you get a partner with you, or like I say, a mother, because again, bringing Kevin's story in,
That's what I mean by guardian, like
yeah,
someone just there for
absolutely.
you.
But sometimes Kevin will freely say this story. He had a shoot where the mother was involved, and you'd think mother would be very quite reserved, going, "Oh no, don't do that. Oh my god, I didn't realize you did that." No, complete opposite. They would like, "Yeah, you go, girl. That's right. Whip more clothes off." You go, "Oh yeah," like, "Whoa, calm the fuck down," type of thing. So do pick your person who you should accompany, things like that. But again, Chapman, great thing you said. Trust. You've really got to make sure that everyone is, happy above board. What's allowed to be shot. Do not push the agenda of like, oh, if you agree to just do a lingerie shoot, then it becomes a nude shoot. Like, no, if your agreement was lingerie, you stick at lingerie. If you do want to suggest something on the shoot, and you say, oh, would you mind like trying to wear this? And they say no, that's where the conversation ends as well. You don't keep pushing that agenda. If they said no, no is the answer.
This isn't just for photographers as well, cosplayers as well. Like
Absolutely.
a photographer might not be comfortable shooting to a certain level.
Yeah.
So it's not just cosplay photographers pushing cosplayers or cosplayers pushing. It also includes cosplayers pushing
Yeah.
photographers or models pushing photographers. So just be wary about that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think you do have, like, I'm having a conversation now. I'll be very honest. I won't reveal who it was, but the last conversation was, they said, I can't. Let me see if I can find the actual wording. The wording. I won't read it verbatim, but I'll give you like a quick synopsis. But it's the way they said it, and I think I knew what they were saying, but I had to go, can I just verify what you're saying? I'm trying to find it now. Give me a second. There we go. Right.
No problem.
Here we go. So let me know first, what level do you shoot up to? And I was like boss level? I don't know. I was like really confused. I was like, what do you mean by level? And they said, do you do safe for work, underwear, lingerie, not safe for work type of thing? I'm going, oh, okay. It's like, I'm like, I'm happy to do any of that, but at the same time, you've got to be comfortable with me doing it. I don't know how I'm going to react if they do go that extreme. I might just say, let's bring it back a little bit and then build up from there. But like I said, I've shot others. I've shot a glamour model who I was able to see. Um, I'm trying to be a gentleman by saying this. I saw their foo-foo. Okay, they were still clothed, but there was an opening on purpose. I can see her foo-foo, and I did say, "Are you sure? You okay?" And she said, absolutely, because we built that trust up over a few shoots, so we were able to get there. So, um, for anyone's safety, don't jump in at the deep end for it. Things like that. But I've not done many cosplay lingerie shoots, if I'm honest, and I've said this again previous on the podcast. I find those shoots a bit tacky. I just find them cringeworthy. And don't get me wrong, if a cosplayer came up to me, didn't hear this or has heard this and gone, but they still want to shoot with me, I still do it. I will do it because if they've got the confidence in me to do it, and I'm okay with their where they're going to, I'm like, all right, we'll shoot it. But yeah, that I just yeah, again, I am saying things where I'm going to get cancelled. This will be clipped, and I swear I'm going to get cancelled. But yeah,
Well, yeah, it's just still down to trust because I've shot like what you've said and beyond. But it doesn't have to be tacky if it's set properly. So I find it if it's like a attack on during a convention, it does get very tacky.
hmm.
But if it's like pre-planned, you have an idea, it's brainstormed, you've had several discussions on what kind of direction you want to go, that is a completely different story. The outcome can be very, very different.
I want to backtrack. So I think we've talked about all this stuff. I want to finish off very quickly. Before I send out the photos to people, I give out I send out a link to say, could you sign my form, just to make sure they understand what they're signing. And basically just says, please don't edit, please don't do this, please don't do that. If you're going to sell my photos, please get my permission first so that we can come to an agreement, this, that, and the other, and things like that. I hope people don't see that as a way of keeping those photos hostage from them. It's not. That's not the point. I've been crossed so many times at the beginning of my photography career, my hobby career, and just feel like, oh, you really are pissing on my style. You didn't like my style, and why did we shoot in the first place? I don't understand. So, if you haven't got the balls to tell me you didn't like my photos and you want to edit it, then I'm sorry, I can't work with you. That's the trust broken for me, and it's really weird. That's the level where I would break that. The trust in someone would break. Um, I've done. If it's like any other thing in my life equivalent to that, I just let them off. But for some reason, as a hobbyist photographer, that breaks me a lot.
For me, I use a simple statement when I send those like, "Hey, here are your photos. Please do let me know if you want any changes or edits to be made. Otherwise, I'm happy for you to post them and just send me a collab when you do." So and then they would normally reply. So what that does is I basically did the same thing as what you said in the contract, but I've worded it like, if you're happy with it, you don't need to edit it, you can post it. But if you need to edit, tell me, and I'm not giving you permission to edit. I'm just saying if to you're happy, you could post it. If you want edits, I will edit it, is what is implied. But also on the flip side, if I know the person really well, I'm happy for them to edit it if they ask.
No, absolutely. I totally get that. I totally understand. So every sort of thing, every time you say if you're happy, my brain went, if you're happy, clap your hands. If you're happy and anyway, I won't go for the whole thing. But yeah,
This is what happens when photographers edit. We procrastinate. Even discussing it, we procrastinate.
I really do. But yeah, I do find shooting, just to wrap it all up in a nice little bow, because I just realized how long we've been talking for, and I'd like to still do it at Podcast Extra. Shooting at the Comic Con is one thing, and I hope people understand the process the process I go through, but also a location here is slightly different, but it's also differently paced. And then the lingerie shoot, like I said, my other stuff. I'm editing now the latex models that I was shooting with, and it's taking me forever. But I love each one of these photos, and I think that's my best work. I have got good cosplay photo. There's like when Kevin asked me, "Oh, this is my best work." There is like one or two photos that I've done at Comic Con. There's one I was just looking at now of Charlotte Walsh in her, oh, what's the character? Someone from Star Wars. And there's a light reflection of a lightsaber, and I went, "Oh, I need to catch that." Okay, if I put that light reflection in so the lightsaber effect in the reflection as well, it's gonna look juicy. So it's like my brain like firing all cylinders like that. So yeah, it's really cool. But um, yeah, they're all got different vibes, all different things, and they all have a different workflow to go through it. Because I know we talked briefly about the lingerie stuff, because this is not. I don't want this to be to talk about. It's about the workflow itself, because essentially they are the same but with different pacing. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. um, I hope cosplayers who are listening to this, or photographers even, in fact, are listening to this, go, "Oh, that's interesting the way he's done it that way." If there's anything of a process that I've mentioned, you want to get more like more knowledge, like how do you? Like, oh, right at the beginning, I should have mentioned that when I do the scheduling, I don't use that. I don't do the Facebook thing anymore. I use Calendly now, which automates everything for me, and it's so much easier, so much quicker. And yeah, it just makes things a lot easier to manage. So yeah, um, I think that's really it. I think yeah. Uh, Anything else you want to add about your workflow about if they want to hire you? Are you open for being hired?
I'm up for being hired. Just, yeah, come chat with me, message me. I'm always happy to work with people. I'm always happy to work with new people. But saying that, if you're looking for a location shoot, please bear in mind, bring a guardian. That's not just for my safety, but your safety. If you want to do kind of the more spicy stuff, as they say, I will only work with people I do know. So we might have to work with each other on other stuff for a short while before, where we get to know each other before we actually do that kind of stuff. Also, bear in mind what we're saying is how our process works. It doesn't apply to everyone. So if what we said doesn't vibe with you or it's not something you like, please take it with a grain of salt.
No, great words there. I love what you said. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think, like I said, build that trust. So yeah. So on that note, so Chapman, if anyone does want to contact you, where can they find you on social medias?
You could find me on Instagram or TikTok, which is LPC Photography, or if you still use Facebook, LP Cosplay Photography. And I am happy to chat anytime if you want to shoot or just give me a booking.
Fantastic. If you go to, for me, if you go to foodandcosplay.org/links, you'll find all my social media links such as Threads, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, it's there. If you go to foodandcosplay.org, generally you'll find cosplay photos and articles written by me or created by me. Actually, to be fair, one of the cosplay stories are from Cosplay in America, but he knows that. That's fine. Yeah. If you go to foodandcosplay.org/podcast, you'll find previous podcasts recorded with Chapman and other guests with other topics. If you go to patreon.com/foodandcosplay, you'll hear the story that I was meant to tell both Chapman and Charlotte about the Tomb Raider story. I forgot.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about that. Yeah. So come to the Patreon. We'll finally talk about that story. And yeah, I was silly that day. That was yeah. But hopefully you'll join us. And if not, hope you enjoy the podcast. Again, if there's anything about my process about photography, come and find me. Come and drop me a message, and I'm more than happy to explain. So yeah. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. He's going to say goodbye. So bye, guys.
bye bye, send Eddie Yorkshires.
No.